Hey, let me guess. You've been the hero, the fixer, the one who jumps in to save the day. You cover a shift, solve everyone's drama, and still smile through it. And now you're tired? Your team's too comfortable, and your leadership feels more like babysitting adults than building a childcare powerhouse? Let me tell you, it's time for some boss moves and boundaries because being overly available isn't leadership. It's being a martyr and a cute cardigan. So let's get back your peace and your power. So, how do you know if you're too available? And how do you pull back? Well, you're not running a childcare center, you're running a 24/7 help desk. Everyone comes to you for everything because somewhere along the line, you taught them that you're always on. It's not love, it's learned helplessness. And I have to tell you, I have been there. Some days I'm still there. This is a major red flag when you're too available. Your phone is buzzing at 9:45 p.m. Hey, quick question about tomorrow's ratios. And you answer. You walk into the break room and conversations stop. They're waiting for you to solve the beef. You're covering a classroom again because someone didn't show up and you just figured it out and figured it was easier than scrambling. You say, that's fine, but you're low key furious. You're drained and you can't remember the last time you ate lunch alone. So, here are some things that you have to do to rein back your sanity. You need to block your calendar like it's Beyonce's tour schedule. You have to have do not disturb work blocks, meeting hours, and you time. Now, some friends are going to need some visual cues, just like we use with the kids. Maybe a door sign, a red sticky note, a Slack status, something that says, unless it's a fire or blood, don't knock. Now, respond, don't react. Just because someone slacks you in all caps doesn't mean you need to jump. Let it sit and prioritize you. Say this line with love and boundaries. I'd love to help you with that. Let's put it on the agenda for our scheduled time. Ooh, the power in that. And I love people. I love my people, and it's so hard, right? But I have learned over the last couple years, like, at what expense? So saying yes all the time does make you a weaker leader. Like, let's be real. People pleasing and leadership is a fast track to resentment. Saying yes to keep the peace ends up costing you your time, your mental health, and your authority. Here's what yes addiction really does it teaches your team that your time doesn't matter. And guess what? They believe you. You also create a dependence culture. If you're always there to answer, they're going to stop thinking for themselves. And that is a fact. You also slowly kill your credibility. Saying yes to everything makes it look like you have no boundaries and no backbone. So say it with me. This is a complete sentence, and it doesn't make me a beat, it makes me a boss. Here's how to break up with the yes. Use the rule of pause. And I sometimes talk about this in other episodes. Pause before you respond. Ask yourself, is this aligned with my role? Does this help me lead better? Or is this just to appease somebody? And practice the grace and patience. How about, thanks for thinking of me, but that's not something I can commit to right now. Or, I trust you to figure that out. You've got this. Redirect with leadership. When someone brings you a problem, ask them, what have you tried? Instead of, let me fix it. Ooh, that was a hard one. And that is a golden nugget. If you are anything like me, I have fixed way more problems than I ever should have. And I still do it now, but I am much more selective. So it is a place that I am still working on because I do lead with love and I do want my people to feel supported. But at the same time, am I helping them grow if I fix everything for them? We had a great episode the other day with Cheyenne, and she had said, leaders have to stop buffing the edges. And boy, that was like a golden gem. And she's right. She's right. And I did that for the longest time. You want to teach others how to treat you as a leader. If you feel disrespected, overlooked, or constantly interrupted, it's not just them. It's what you have allowed. So flip the script. Here's what you might be doing without even realizing it. Laughing off disrespect like, oh, that's just how she is. Yep. Been there, did that. I don't do it anymore. Or letting staff vent their drama in your office like you're their unpaid therapist. You got to stop that too. And fixing every crisis before your staff even has to sweat. Like maybe let them fix some of the crises. It's time for you to give yourself a rebrand. Establish your leadership tone. Are you the fixer or are you the facilitator? Be the mirror. If you want ownership and calm, then show it. And I want you to name your standards. Name your standards out loud and often. Don't assume people just know what respect looks like. Spell it out like a classroom room. In this building, we speak to each other with clarity, not chaos. If you're heated, come back when you're calm. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Write it on a sticky note, put it on your computer, and stick to consequences. If you say you're not available during certain hours, then don't respond. Just this once. You're not a vending machine. They can wait. Now let's talk about boundaries. There are 3 different levels I want to address today that every director I feel like needs. This is your boundaries breakdown because boundaries are not one size fits all. You need layers, like Spanx or a good spreadsheet. Okay, number 1, time boundaries. Protect your calendar like it's your paycheck. You are not on call 24/7, even if your staff thinks that you are. Define your office hours and post them. Yes, post them. Say no to drive-by, hallway meetings, schedule time instead. And stop booking back-to-back meetings with no time to breathe. You need at least 30 minutes daily to think. Now, here's a boss move. Put a big CEO time block on your calendar. When people ask what that is, say, that's when I run the center instead of just surviving it. Come on, that's a good one. Put it on your calendar. Oh, wait, CEO time. That is when you are running the center instead of it running you. Now, emotional energy. This is a big one because I am so heart-centered and I love people and I want to help them. But just because I care does not mean I am your dumping ground. There's a difference between being supportive and being sucked dry. So create limits around venting. Maybe 5-minute max is the rule. After that, ask for some solutions. And be aware of the energy vampires. If someone's always bringing drama, redirect it. Maybe just say, I'm not the right person for that convo right now. Let's talk solutions instead. Because it is very easy to get sucked into a 30-minute venting session about how Susie called out for the 3rd time this month. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's bad for your culture. It's bad for your stress. It's bad for your energy. And honestly, it's a time sucker. So let's talk solutions instead. Build in some rituals to recharge, like car karaoke or a solo lunch or a 10-minute office dance party, whatever it is that resets you. For me, it's listening to some spa music, spraying some eucalyptus in my room, shutting all of the doors. I get very easily distracted, unfortunately, and my office has got 3 doors that all funnel into it. It's a very quirky setup, which is why when I have to do CEO time, I leave that office and I go to my offsite office. That's right, offsite office. Now, if you don't have an offsite office, that's okay. Make one at home. But you are going to need time where you are in a quiet space where you can think, especially if you are doing important detail type of work. Now, let's talk about responsibility boundaries, like stay in your lane and then delegate the rest. Just because you can does not mean you should. So clarify roles with actual documentation. If your staff doesn't know who owns what, they'll always ask you. Stop rescuing. If someone forgets the supply order, that's a learned opportunity, not your cue to run to Target at 6 a.m. in the morning. And delegate with clarity, not guilt. This is your zone now. I trust in your leadership. I'm here if you hit a wall, but don't hand it back to me. Try that one on for size, right? Feels really good. So, what I'm going to do is I am going to put together a little boundary worksheet for you that you're going to be able to get in the link below. And you're going to be able to use it. You're going to be able to use it for your daily routines, your weekly routines. I want you to be able to get yourself together. And not only you, because this podcast is my therapy. And lots of times when I'm talking to you, I'm also talking to me because I live the same life as you. I run multiple childcare centers. I work with all different types of people. And sometimes it's a good reminder to say, hey, where are you right now? So I always check in with myself and go, you need to get grounded. Or you probably didn't handle that the best way. Let's go back and revisit, right? So here are some power phrases that you can use. Let me get back to you after I check my own priorities. Or I'm not available for that right now. How many times have you said that? If you're like me, probably not enough. Or that's not aligned with my leadership role. Guess what? If you're at the top of your company, you are not the one ordering toilet paper. You are not the one running to Target. You are not the one subbing in the toddler room. That is a waste of your time, money, and energy. And I don't mean that to be vain. What I'm saying is if you're doing that, you're not doing the big things that make your company run, right? So delegate those things out. Those do not need to be done by the CEO. Here's some closing thoughts. You don't need to be available to be valuable. You don't need to be exhausted to be effective. The most powerful thing you can do as a director is to protect your peace and then lead from it. That's where your clarity lives. That's where your power lives. And that's how we stop surviving and start leading with impact. I'm going to ask you a favor. If this episode gave you life, share it with one fellow childcare leader who needs to step into their boss era. Leave us a quick review, just a few words. Really, we want to move our podcast to the top 25% of all podcasts. And we're close. Your voice helps grow our community. If you share, your share could be the reason another director reclaims their peace, stays in the field, raises the bar and our boundaries together. So thank you as always for tuning in. I am eternally grateful and humble for all that you guys do and being part of our community. God bless and have a good night.